This is going to be my weekly bias coming into the week of June 10th all the way to June 14th. Starting off, we have a monthly manipulation based on quarterly theory, looking at the weekly chart. This is our first week in June, starting here, and we took out highs, distributed higher. I don't think that means we are going to push higher. I think that starting out this week, this is our continuation, our XAMD, so we're looking at a start of X instead of a start of A. This would be our X ideally here, taking out all-time highs. This is our continuation of our distribution leg. I don't even think we reached equilibrium here, so this just shows how aggressive we wanted to run higher. We filled this imbalance at EQ, good enough imbalance for me, or good enough balance of price for me. This is our continuation, our X. This week I am looking for an accumulation week in A to start our quarterly theory, or to continue our quarterly theory, that is. So looking here at price, we do have this daily fair value gap that we have posted up on our distribution. Price has already rejected it, but I am not feeling like this is going to hold. Ideally, I think that we should chop around a little bit, create some liquidity, top and bottom. I'm looking for kind of just a seek and destroy week, to be completely honest. I really want to see price just generate a bunch of liquidity, and then coming into week 3, I want us to manipulate highs one more time before we go lower by looking for some bit of S&T. That's coming next week though, so I'm not looking for any sort of move lower yet. I am still very bullish coming into this week, especially with the rejection of this daily fair value gap. As of right now, we do not have any S&T to signify that we are going to move lower at the moment. But as for my directional bias coming into this week, I am bullish, like I said, based on higher time frames. With how we're looking with shorter term price coming into this week, we pretty much just had a seek and destroy setup, opening or ending Friday, that is. So we didn't really do anything special other than just take out highs and take out lows. And now we are pretty much range bound with these intermediate highs and lows here. Well, this intermediate low and then this external high we have on top. So this is pretty much our weekly range right here that I am looking to either break out of or sweep. Coming down to the 15-minute, this is a significant intermediate high that we have here. Feeling that gap moving lower. But I do think that we should break this at some point, obviously. We aren't really given much here. There's not really a whole lot of good price action to work with. Liquidity here. If we are to look bullish here, I am expecting price to run for one of these standard deviation levels, zone. I'm going to be extremely reserved with my trading this week unless I get a A+ setup. I really do not have a directional bias. I'm going to need to see some shit throughout the week, 100%. We do have a level under these lows, our external lows that we made. So this would give me a little bit more confidence to push lower here to grab these levels. That is the only thing that I can see really as of right now. We do have this pretty large imbalance of price. I don't know if that means we will run this because it's actually just kind of a BPR here. It's actually a perfect BPR of price. Looking a little bit more, I am kind of looking more on these. I'm looking like I want to go short here with these sell side levels. That could be a pretty solid target, especially without price reaching equilibrium. But of our range that we have right now, I would want to see price come back to equilibrium, maybe even getting to this inverse gap that we have on the daily. I am short-term bullish up into this range. Ideally, I'd like to see us S&T, this buy-side liquidity, to come lower, but I don't know if it will make that happen or not. Taking a look here at DXY, this is going to give me further confirmation that I do kind of want to look short here on our indexes, unless, of course, we do see this as just a run on liquidity. Let's look at the quarterly weekly here. So last week we had a manipulation run on lows. Yeah, I don't know. This could be our manipulation. This could be our run higher. It's definitely going to depend on how we react to this daily fair value gap once this candle closes. We do have some generated sell side and even protected lows that we left in this weekly fair value gap that ideally would get taken out, but I think with how much we've shifted structure here and the rejection off of this standard deviation level, I really don't know if we come back down until we take out these equal highs that we left. Looking at the higher time frame move from this standard deviation, we hit our reaccumulation level, which is why we came back, never actually grabbed the sell side, but just generated more, other than taking this short-term sell side. So it looks like it would line up for us to run for our 3 to 5 to 4 standard deviation level and our buy side target here. But overall, obviously DXY is looking like it wants to run higher. I really want to see it maybe even come back down off of this breaker here. Ideally, come down here into this, make some sort of short-term low, grab that low before we move up higher. This is kind of what we'd be looking to see on DXY. But this run lower, it would line up with ES and DXY or NQ to come take out this BPR, maybe even take out these external highs before we actually do move lower. But overall, towards the end of the week, with our news too that we have on Wednesday and Thursday, we have FOMC, CPI, and PPI. Those could be our strong manual intervention to push us lower after we take out some sort of liquidity with general algo. I think that we are bullish coming into the week. I want to see some sort of displacement lower before I actually switch my bias. But in terms of going short, I do have these external lows that I am looking to run. That would be my primary target. Could even be a higher time frame unicorn from what it looks like. At least we have this gap inside of this breaker that we've created on ES and NQ. So really, to me, this looks like a high time frame unicorn entry. So we would come up to this BPR before we come actually take out lows, which should line up with the XY on a small retracement, ideally. Okay, top to bottom, it will line up in equilibrium to come grab this BPR. So price could see a run up to OTE to move lower. So that's pretty much all I have for right now. This video is kind of all over the place. So just to finalize ideas, coming into the week, bullish. Want to see some price get taken out up higher before we actually do move lower. Once we get some level of distribution lower, displacement lower, some market structure shift, some rejection off this BPR, or a take of highs, even some high time frame SMT, once that occurs, I will be looking to go short. And it must line up with DXY running for highs. But until then, I am bullish coming into this week. So that's what I'd be looking for as well. I'd be extremely lenient with your plays. Definitely watch out Wednesday. Definitely watch out Thursday. But be extremely lenient with your trades. This looks like an accumulation week setting up. So just be careful. Only take your A+ setups. And everyone have a wonderful night.